let's talk about South Park's representation of trans people. Right off the bat, South Park is a show that was released in 1997. This animated satirical comedy literally aims to piss off everyone possible. South Park is a firm anything goes rule, so whether or not I think any of these portrayals are offensive is not necessarily relevant at all, because if they are, that was probably the point. The creators Trey and Matt said in an interview with Fresh Air that they see themselves as sort of this middle ground on issues, whereas most people tend to take one side or the other. So let's start with the first instance. South Park actually has a lot more trans representation than one might think, starting with season 9, which was released in 2006, I believe. Well, in season 9 of the show, Mr. Garrison, the boy's teacher, comes out as a transgender woman. You're gonna hear me switch between Miss Garrison and Mr. Garrison a couple times. I say Mr. because this only lasts 3 seasons. In season 12, he detransitions. Right off the bat in this first episode where Miss Garrison says she's transitioning, by the end of the episode, Miss Garrison realizes that she can't get her period or have a baby. And so she proclaims that she is not a real woman, just a man with a vagina.
This would mean I'm not really a woman. I'm just a guy with a mutilated penis.
Basically, yes.
There's a video by Tron titled That One Trans Joke. Fully recommend this video, great video. And it talks about how one of the main ways that we see trans people in media, where a cisgender straight man will sleep with a trans woman, and then all of his friends will have to reveal that he's gay. That's the lowdown of it. And the reason I can't go without mentioning this video is because South Park does this.
It's almost like you're one of the guys. Yeah, almost.
Within Miss Garrison's time as a woman, she gets a little boyfriend. This boyfriend that she gets is also a real person, and he did not like his trans girlfriend. Then, as of season 12, Mr. Garrison realizes that he was actually a man all along, gets his P&R back, and proclaims very confidently that you are not a woman unless you can give birth and have a period, and then calls a man with an infertile wife the F-slur.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. My wife had ovarian cancer, so she can't have babies. Well, then get an AIDS test, Thompson, because your wife's a dude. Yeah, I'm back!
So South Park's first stab at a trans character is a joke that's definitely geared against trans people. Trans people are the butt of this joke, but again, everyone's gonna be the butt of a South Park joke at some point. So here we go with season 18's The Sissy. Cartman is pissed off with the men's bathroom and he decides he's going to pretend to be a trans woman to use the women's bathroom. Now, if you know Wendy from South Park, you know that she's always going to put this man in his place. So when Cartman gets his own special bathroom for pretending to be trans, she comes in pretending to be a trans man to take that away from him. Cartman is pretty pissed about this and goes to Wendy's boyfriend Stan. Cartman immediately insists that Stan is a girl because Wendy identifies as a man. Because obviously if Wendy is a man, she's attracted to girls, so that means you're a girl. Meanwhile, Cartman at the beginning of the episode literally said this.
That's actually not true. I can be transgender without it having anything to do with the gender I'm attracted to. Check the state bylaws.
So much for continuity, buddy. Obviously, this confuses Stan, so he goes to his dad to ask him about being trans.
I mean, can someone identify as one sex but be something else but still have it be nothing about sex?
Yes, Stan. I am Lord.
What?
Fun fact, as of a few episodes prior, it was so beautifully introduced to us that Stan's dad, Randy Marsh, is actually the singer Lorde. Yeah, the singer Lorde. Like, the real person? Yeah, that's her. So when Stan goes to school the next day, he's pretty confused. He stands in front of these 3 bathrooms, wondering what his friends are going through, wondering how what the fuck his father is doing ties into this, wondering where he belongs. And in his wondering, walks into the gender-neutral bathroom. Cartman is again pissed. This man's already got Wendy coming in here, come on. So Cartman runs out and gathers a big crowd. He starts insisting that Stan is a sissy. Sissy is a stand-in for a trans slur here, and when their classmate Clyde tries to step in, Cartman says this.
Oh, come on, lay off him, guys. Oh, what are you, a sissy too, Glad? No, just he is.
And at this point, we've summed up the 3 main fears that people tend to have about trans people. One is that transgender women are just men trying to invade the girls' bathroom. People tend to demonize trans women specifically a lot. This is just a fear-mongering tactic to demonize a group of people that we've deemed outside of society's box. Which brings us to fear number 2, being othered. Trans people are othered by society. In a society that lacks education about trans people, a typical cisgender person doesn't understand trans people, which creates an othering. This is when we start getting into societal norms like beauty standards and gender roles. You've probably heard this when talking about subjects like bullying, but the reason people are othered is to avoid othering ourselves. If I support a view that isn't supported by society, then I become the unsupported. Another story people like to spin is that trans people are trying to make your children trans. Nobody wants to make your child trans. Living in a society that restricts self-expression is the opposite of helping kids understand who they truly are and what they want for themselves.
But Dad, I want to learn everything.
No, you don't! Shut up!
All three of these issues can be fixed with two things: creating a society that understands trans people, and gender-neutral bathrooms. This episode ends off with a bang. Randy's wife Sherry delivers what is actually a great speech.
Because when someone's not allowed to express who they are inside, then we all lose.
She talks pretty much directly to the camera, to trans people, telling them to be themselves.
That's what I would say to Lord.
Oh, sorry, she was talking about Lord. But like she was basically. I'm sorry, Lord, for claiming your motivational speech. Lord releases a new song from that saves the day. And another direct statement to the camera.
Anyone who has a problem sharing a bathroom with people who might be transgender will have to use the special designated bathroom designed to keep them away from the normal people who don't care.
And it finally ends with Stan trying to use the men's bathroom, getting kicked out by Butters, who calls him a sissy, and then realizing that the gender-neutral bathroom isn't so bad after all.
Wow, this is pretty nice.
Again, creating a safe space for trans people creates comfort for everyone. If you don't want to share a bathroom with trans people, encourage the addition of gender-neutral bathrooms to public spaces. It really is that simple. Finally, South Park's last representation of trans people. People aren't only pretending that trans women are just men wanting to go into the women's bathroom, they're also pretending that trans women are just men wanting to get into women's sports. Season 23's Bored Girl shows PC Principal's wife, Strong Woman, entering women's athletic competitions and having to face someone who just started identifying as a trans woman 3 weeks ago and is now entering all of the competitions and defeating the girls in a second.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. I will beat them at any sport they try.
South Park's main take with this episode is that there should be some restrictions around trans athletes in sports. There is a discussion to be raised when it comes to this issue with biological development and such, and their main joke is that people are too scared of woke culture to say anything about this.
I know we're all a little afraid to have any opinions on this stuff, but there can be situations where it's not so easy to...
Okay, back to me. But the reality is that no one would really do that. Being transgender is unfortunately a serious, difficult, and sometimes dangerous thing to be, and anyone who's willing to do that doesn't support real transgender people. So those are the 3 instances of trans people in South Park. If you're looking at it from the perspective of whether or not trans struggles were accurately portrayed, Miss Garrison, absolutely not. I think the sissy did a great job, and I think it's obvious that they put some real thought into this episode and the way they actually commented on this issue, and that's it. No, it's not. Thirdly, I think Bored Girls raises a really genuine discussion about the way that we divide sports. Personally, I think gender is already a stupid way to divide sports, and there is a better way to go about it. But there is a very real discussion surrounding this topic. Okay, back to me. Let me know if you have any thoughts on anything I've said. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Say bye.